How to know if a woman is interested in you. I have found that a lot of guys just don't understand when a woman is interested. So today, my assistants and I, Frank and Alex, are going to go through exactly how to understand how women are interested in you. Very simple. Alex, what's the first one?
Woman approaches you and stays in your space.
Okay. So, guys always wonder, does she like you or does she not like you? So let's draw the woman. I know tits don't usually go under the armpits, but that's okay. Not really the best drawer in the whole world. So here's a woman, right now. There's her ridiculously high heels, okay, because women in their high heels, it's like, I don't understand why they want to be 7 feet tall. Is it to raise the breasts to eye level? We already recognize and see those breasts to begin with. So here's a woman. She's literally coming over to you. This buffer zone, all this is what I call the energetic matrix buffer zone, okay? If she is not crossing that imaginary line, it's like an imaginary void. It's like a void that we see at all times, okay? So you see that? It's like a void. If she is not crossing that void, she has absolutely no interest in you at all. So here you are, hanging out, right? Got a little belly, okay, like a lot of guys do. A little bit of hair. Okay, there's you, smiling, and there you are, clueless to what women want, okay? So, here's a woman, she's approaching you. You're talking to her a little bit, but you've kept this imaginary buffer zone going. If a woman does not cross over any of this, she's got a foot in the buffer zone, but the foot doesn't count in the buffer zone because the heels are so goddamn high that they have literally taken her foot and cranked it in a whole different direction. So the foot doesn't count at all. What counts is if she crosses this buffer zone with any parts of her body. She can lean in with the tits, she's crossing the buffer zone. The head tilts that direction, she's crossed the buffer zone, right? When she crosses that buffer zone, you, as a man, can start to get excited, okay? But don't let her see that. Because if she sees that you have an erection just by her crossing the buffer zone, she's going to think you're some type of date rape. So you don't want to do that at all. But when she crosses that buffer zone, let me show you what happens next. The buffer zone goes away. Look at that. And so does that ridiculously shoe that she has in there. So when she crosses the buffer zone, as a man, what you need to do is this. You need to actually go into the buffer zone. That unknown zone, the zone is all gone right now, even though it's still a vortex kind of up here. And you can feel the energy field up there. It's like, you think it's like it could be an electric fence, like dogs getting electrocuted. You quickly jump over there. There you are. Look at that. You've crossed the buffer zone. It's the greatest thing. There's your man hands, okay? Put the penis back in there. Keep it nice and small, okay? Because you don't want that to touch her. Because if you think about it, the penis is really close to the ridiculously high heel shoe that's sending her up in the air. So now you're in that buffer zone. What do you do now? It's okay to touch. So how do you touch a woman when you've crossed that buffer zone? Well, here's the woman. The vortex is still down there. The question marks are still over your head, right? So now you need to have the power of touch. There's her hand. There's her nails. Okay? Now, you need to look at her. Somehow or another, you've got to cross that buffer zone that's above her. That's sign of protection. It could be an iPhone, because iPhones seem to protect women at all times. I call it the iPhone zone. She's got it in her hands 24/7. There's the iPhone right there. And there's Facebook. That's Facebook, for all you people that know. There's her 10 friends that she's looking at, right? She needs something to look at. You, in turn, now need to go and pay her some type of compliment. A compliment will get her open. So what are you going to do? You're going to say, I like those ridiculously high heel shoes you're wearing? No. You don't want to pay her a compliment that you like boobs that hang from under the armpit at all. Maybe her hair, maybe her smile. There you have it. In order to get her excited, in order to cross the buffer zone, you literally want to do what? You want to compliment her smile. So there you are. Hear the words coming out of your mouth for the very, very first time. Remember, keep the penis in the pants, okay? There you are with your little curly hair, and here are your magic words. I like your smile. Wow. That's it. Then take the man hand and put it on her shoulder and show her you're not intimidated by her. Show her that this buffer zone that you're in, because you're in this crazy buffer zone right now and all this force field that's around there, and you can feel it because you have all these questions going on in your head, because the fact of the matter is you have trouble with all this and you have approach anxiety and you're terrified of this whole thing, and the fact is you think she's going to look at Facebook and everything else, and these incredibly high heels are intimidating you because you think she might kick you. You notice that the high heel shoe is close to the penis. So what's happening here is that you're going to have to say that one simple word. I like your smile. Then you're going to need to smile, stare directly at her, literally like this, big eyes, big smile, okay? Looking at her like this big face right here, looking at the camera. That's you. That's you. That's you right now, okay? That's what your face needs to look at. So that is your first way that you can overcome approach anxiety. Join us next week for the next one.